Good morning to another January morning, and January has always been one of my favorite months, and that's a strange month to have it to be your favorite, but some of the gray rainy days always give me such a domestic feeling, and it's a change from all summer gardening and gives me a chance to just be inside the kitchen and enjoy myself. I was met this morning, though, by my hen Doodah at the French doors. She came up to get a little morning love, and so I picked her up, told her good morning, and then I took her back, and she promptly laid me this colorful blue egg. I'll show you Doodah's egg. Now, she hasn't been laying very long, so let's see. Don't expect a very big egg, but this is what she gave me this morning, little Doodah's egg. We have a white hen, a leghorn that really lays. I call her Wilma White. She always, this is the difference between the size. I don't know if you can see them, but this is Doodah, this is Wilma White, and she lays almost every morning before the rest of the hens get up. We are greeted by her egg almost every morning. So that's how I started out my day. So how can it be a bad day? And so this morning, I am going to make my husband some biscuits, and it's easy as 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to show you. I start out with my trusty scale I just love, and this is a mixture of flours in here. I have a flour mill grinder, and so it has some spelt in it flour and some other flours. Okay, I want 6 ounces. It's 1-to-3 ratio I'm using, but I'm multiplying it by 2. So instead of 3 ounces, I want 6 ounces. And I went a little over, a little bit still over, a little under. Okay, there's my 6 ounces of my flour, and the next ingredient I would count is liquid, but it's the 2 ingredients, so I'm not going to put it in first. I'm going to put in my butter, and it's the 1, 2, 3, so it counts as, instead of 1 ounce, 2 ounces, and which is about a half a cube. Okay, and it's my organic butter. It's really important on butter to get organic, because think about it, all of the bad stuff assimilates and settles into the fat. In fact, I don't know about the younger generation, but because I lived through the DDT time, I probably have some of that still stored in my fat. Okay, by the way, I was 13 before any chemicals like that were used for growing vegetables. I can remember the days when if you kept bread too long, it molded. Okay, so that is in there, and I'm going to I cut it up, but I want it to be just a little bit smaller, maybe, not too small, because it's nice to have some of those chunks in there that melt as it cooks. I've got the oven turned on to 400, and you know what? I got ahead of myself, but it's okay. I'm going to add my baking powder, and it's aluminum free, and my soda, and I keep my soda in a little jar instead of that big box. And lots of times I have my little measuring spoon in this drawer that gets hidden, and I'm just going to go get another one. But usually it's really convenient, except it's disappeared. Okay. Anyway, I was going to say, I don't know if any of you have read the book Dandelion Wine by Bradford. I can't remember his first name. That comes of being 81. But it's a children's book, and it's the only non-science fiction book I think he wrote. It's one teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of baking powder I'm putting in there. And I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay. Anyway, he wrote this book, and I just love it. Not too many books have I read more than one time, but that one, I read it to my kids, then I read it to myself. And near the end of the book, it talks about, I think it's his grandmother, and how she cooks. And she has things in little jars and little sacks, and I do too. But she was a wonderful cook, and one day a relative visited and thought, wow, she's such a good cook. What would she be like if her kitchen was organized and everything put to right? So the relative, she went in and just straightened out the kitchen, and after that, the meals that the grandma cooked were awful, just terrible. And nothing seemed to go right, nothing was in the right place. And as she added a pinch of this and a pinch of that, it was wrong. So her grandson decided something had to be done. So one night when they were all in bed and he was visiting maybe he lived, no he didn't, he lived next door. Anyway, he went into Grandma's kitchen and he put the stuff back in the little jars, in the little sacks, and all of a sudden her cooking was wonderful again. So I need these little jars and these little sacks so I can cook. I don't think I'll ever get as good as it said in the book, but here we are, still surviving. Now, oh, excuse me, I put in 1 of butter, 3 of the flour, and now it goes 2 of the liquid, and I'm putting in some of the whey from from my cheese that I made the other day. And so 1, 2, 3, 2 times 2 is 4. So I want 4 ounces to put in here of the liquid. And I'm not quite there. I'm $3.99. I wonder, well, I went over a little bit. I should have stuck with $3.99. That's close enough. Okay. And we're going to do it. I'm going to get this stuff out of my way. And I've got the oven turned to 400. They'll bake about, I don't know, 18, 20 minutes, somewhere along in there. And then Tom will have nice biscuits. It's funny, I love to make them. I'll probably have a bite, but I don't really eat them because I'm not gluten-free. I mean, I'm not gluten intolerant, but if apt to bump my sugar too high. I'm not a diabetic, but I don't want to become one. So I really watch that. Okay, I'm just going to dump it in and mix it. You don't want to mix it too long, but you want to get it in there. Okay. Okay, and you know, each time it's a little different. This is quite a bit of moisture. I'm going to put just Usually I don't even have to put flour down, but I can see it's going to maybe, okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay. You can tell I've got some little, my flour makes it, it's not white flour. It has probably some in it, but not totally. And I don't want to work it too much because they'll become tough biscuits, and I don't want that. Okay, maybe one more time. Okay. And I'm not gonna, form them, I just cut them. So we've got there, and there. It's gonna make him 6 biscuits. And when there's just 2 of us, and he's the only one really eating them, that's just perfect. And we'll put him in here. And there. And he's going to come in a little bit and have his morning snack, and he'll have biscuits and homemade fig jam from our fig tree. So a little bit of January and a little bit of summer. And that's it. So I'll put them in the oven and put the timer on. And then I'll wish you a good day. And this is how this old lady survived the 80s. With a lot of gratitude.